Putin's hidden war. Russian rebels ignite civil chaos, empire's collapse starts now. Imagine this. It's the dead of night in the heart of Moscow, and a shadowy drone hums silently over the city as vital. Ring pipeline, the artery pumping 3 million tons of jet fuel daily to keep Russia's war machine roaring in Ukraine. At 2 a.m. on November 1st, 2025, it strikes. A fireball erupts, flames licking the sky as alarms wail across the capital. But here is the gut-wrenching fact that exposes Putin's worst nightmare. This was in Ukraine's long-range missile. It was a homemade drone launched by Russian rebels from a nearby apartment, part of a sprawling underground network that's conducted over 30 sabotage operations this year alone, turning Putin's unbreakable empire into a tinderbox of betrayal. With Google Trends spiking 40% in searches for Russia Collapse 2025 and YouTube flooded with videos racking up millions of views on Russian resistance sabotage, the world is waking up to the secret war raging inside Russia. What if the real battle isn't on Ukraine's front lines, but in the shadows of the motherland, where Putin's own people are lighting the fuse? Hold on tight, because this is the pulse-pounding story of how a shadow army is sabotaging the Kremlin from within, and it might just topple the Tsar before the year is out. Let's rewind to the spark that lit this hidden inferno. February 24, 2022, tanks rumble across Ukraine's borders. Putin declares his special military operation, promising a swift parade in Kyiv. The world watched in horror as cities fell, but in the occupied shadows of Melitopol and Kherson, something stirred. A young Ukrainian woman pins a green ribbon to her coat, a silent symbol of defiance. By October 2023, that whisper becomes a roar. A car bomb rips through Melitopol's streets, killing 2 Russian occupiers and wounding 8. The Kyiv Independent breaks the story, dubbing it the resistance's boldest strike yet. But this wasn't a lone act. It was the birth of coordinated chaos, a web of partisans, Ukrainians under occupation, and Russians weary of the war's toll, weaving a noose around Moscow's neck. Fast forward to 2025, and the Atesh think tank reports these networks have evolved into a full proxy war, with groups like Atesh claiming half of all 2025 sabotages in occupied lands. Putin thought he could crush dissent with iron fists and propaganda, but as Euromaidan Press detailed in their December 2 bombshell report, the resistance stretches from Melitopol's dusty markets to Moscow's gleaming towers, a secret war he can't bomb away. Picture the tension building in Melitopol, the gate to Crimea that fell early in the invasion. June 2025, a family, a grandmother, her son and grandson, stands trial in a sham Russian court. Their crime? Derailing a supply train bound for the front, using nothing but homemade explosives and insider tips. Sentences: up to life in prison. The Express calls it occupation's breaking point, but instead of fear, it ignites fury. By November, the pace quickens. A botched car bomb in Melitopol targets a Russian drone crew, but in Luhansk's success, explosives under FSB vehicles claim 4 lives in a hail of shrapnel. Intelligence ops hum in the background. A partisan in Crimea sneaks recordings of fighter jets scrambling from Saki Air Base, feeding real-time data to Ukrainian artillery. These aren't Hollywood heroes with gadgets. They're bakers, teachers, and factory workers, armed with 3D printed bombs and encrypted telegram channels, as Novaya Gazeta's Ada Blakewell revealed in her March 2024 Vox Europe deep dive. The suspense mounts. Every rail switch flipped, every electrical panel fried, chips away at Russia's logistics lifeline. One derailment delays 10,000 shells. One arson halts fuel for a brigade. Putin's generals scramble, but how do you guard a nation spanning 11 time zones against ghosts in your own ranks? Now, shift the lens inward, to the frozen expanses of Russia proper, where the betrayal cuts deepest. November 4, 2025. In Kursk, the Black Spark Group, a shadowy cadre of anti-war Russians, ambush a convoy. Boom! An Iskander missile transporter erupts in flames alongside a Harmonia radar van. Russia boasts 600 of those deadly Iskanders, but each loss delays a barrage. The Kyiv Independent's November 5th report paints the scene. Smoke billows as FSB agents swarm, but the saboteurs vanish into the night. It's not isolated. Arson waves sweep Bashkortostan and Vologda, torching communication towers and railway cabinets. Pravda, in a rare candid November piece, logs unexplained technical failures from Moscow to Irkutsk, blown panels, severed lines, derailed freights. Russian officials spin it as wear and tear, but insiders whisper sabotage. The Freedom of Russia Legion, exiled dissidents turned guerrillas, claims credit for half a dozen hits. Their manifesto echoing, "We fight not for Ukraine, but for a Russia free of this mad war." Atlantic Council's February 2025 analysis chills the spine. These networks number in the thousands, blending cyber espionage with boots-on-ground ops, exploiting Russia's stretched-thin security. FSB agents diverted to Ukraine, leaving home fronts porous. As one partisan told Euromaidan Press anonymously, Putin's war woke the bear. Now it's turning on him. Heighten the drama. This shadow war isn't random. It's a symphony of disruption. Time to bleed the beast dry. The November 1st Ring pipeline strike? It severed 20% of fuel flows to air bases, grounding sorties for days. Ukrainian drones get the headlines, but rebels provide the eyes, spotting weak points, relaying cords via Starlink proxies. In occupied Donbass, Atesh, Crimean Tatars fighting ethnic cleansing, plants IEDs under occupation patrols. Their 2025 tally, 15 kills, 40 wounds. The Institute for the Study of War's November 27 assessment warns, these ops force Russia to garrison rear areas, siphoning troops from the front where advances crawl at 55 square miles a month, per CSIS June 2025 data. Casualties mount minus 900,000 to 1.3 million total, says the Economist's October meta-estimate, fueling desertions and mutinies. Whispers from the ranks. Soldiers in Pokrovsk refuse orders, echoing viral YouTube clips of Pokrovsk meltdown trending with millions of views. Putin's response? Denial and dragnets. Families in Melitopol vanish into gulags. Kursk sees midnight raids. But as Small Wars Journal's September 2025 forecast predicts, this internal rot risks cascade. Emigration spikes, economy teeters on 1% growth amid inflation erosion, per Carnegie Endowment. Sanctions bite. Drones burn refineries, minus 160 Ukrainian strikes since January, per trending YouTube analyzes. But rebels multiply to pay, turning every shadow into a threat. Yet, in this web of whispers and wildfires, ironies twist like knife edges. Putin, architect of control, built the FSB into a panopticon, but war's fog blinds it. The same Telegram apps he tolerates for propaganda now ferry rebel codes. Exiles in the Freedom of Russia Legion, once pariahs, return as phantoms, striking from forests near Bryansk. And the human cost? Heart-wrenching. That Melitopol family, torn apart for flipping a switch. The Kursk driver, a conscript's kin, vaporized in crossfire. Public mood shifts, polls, skewed but telling, show 63% of Russians craving peace, per Russia Matters September 2025 report. Google Trends captures the unease, spikes in how to sabotage safely, and anti-war Russia, mirroring YouTube surges in Putin regime collapse searches. Experts like those at the Sofin Center, November 2025, foresee escalation. As Pokrovsk falls, or doesn't, rebels could swell, proxy war morphing into civil strife. What if a single betrayal cascades into barracks revolts, or a drone swarm blacks out the Kremlin? Putin's victory in Donetsk, Pyrrhic, with shadows lengthening behind every gain. As winter's grip tightens on Russia's vast steppes, the secret war simmers unseen, a powder keg under the bear's paw. Rebels plot in basements, pipelines hum with peril, and Putin's empire frays at the seams. Will this shadow army force a reckoning, or will the Tsar unleash hell to hold his throne? But here's the question that echoes in the dark. If Putin's own people are sabotaging his dream of glory, how long until the empire doesn't just crack, but shatters? Share your take in the comments. Rebels or regime? Who's winning the secret war? If this tale of betrayal gripped you, smash that like button, subscribe for more unfiltered dives into global shadows, and ring the bell for alerts. Stay vigilant. The truth is our greatest weapon. Together, let's expose the fights that shape tomorrow.